Guess what? I'm back. It's been a number of weeks before or since I've made a video, I should say. So I hope you are all well out there and staying safe. Now, in this video, I'm going to be making something I've never done before, both in the materials and the actual mold I'm going to be using. Now, I did mention this a little while back, I think it actually was in the last video, that Helen Glogner over at Beachside Glass sent me some 96 COE glass and Murrini. Helen makes Murrini, so if you're interested in Murrini or in anything she's doing, go to her website. It's called beachsideglass.art, and have a look. It's well worth having a look. So she sent me some Murrini, few packets of it here, which I'll show you all of that shortly. Sorry about all the noise. So she sent me that and some sheet glass, and I'm going to be doing a really reasonably simple, I won't say simple, it's not going to be simple. I'm going to be doing only a small project, but it's all going to be new because I'm going to be trying a couple of different techniques I've never used before. I'm going to be using a mold I've never used before, and I'm going to be using COE 96 glass, which I've never used before. So I'm setting myself up for a disaster here, but we're going to give it a go. So I won't ramble on anymore, we'll just get straight into it. Okay, now design. I haven't got a lot to say about design because I'm sort of going to wing it as I go along. I got it in my head what I want to do, but it's not refined fully. The only thing I'll say about it is I am going to use this mould. Now, as far as materials, as I mentioned before, these are all COE 96, which I've never used before, so don't rely fully upon the firing schedule that I'll give you. Do your own research, or if you already use 96, you'll know exactly what they are. And I'm using Murrini and some sheet glass. Now, I can't give you codes because there aren't any codes for the Murrini. Oh, actually, there probably are on Helen's site. So go over to her site and you'll find it all over there. I'll just show you some of these materials. You can see a pack of Murrini here. It's noisy. Try not to make too much noise with it. So that's a nice pattern, like a little floral pattern in there. And I'll be definitely using that one. There's some green here, they're a leaf shape. So I'll be using some of that as well. This here is a sample packet that you get from Helen. It's got a few bits in there actually that I might use as well. Another mix here, and I'll use a couple I got my eye on in there that I might use as well. And this one here maybe, but I think I'm going to reserve that for a different project. And then obviously I've got the black glass here. I've got some clear glass over this side over here. I just want to show you something. I have done a test with this, and it was just to basically get a tack fuse schedule right. But if you have a look at the top of that, see all the little lumps? Now this glass is flat as. It's actually flatter and smoother than Bullseye glass, or at least the Bullseye glass I've used. So that was originally very flat. And when I first got it out of the kiln, I wondered, what the heck's gone on there? I turned it over and I had a look, and you can see there bubbles. There are bubbles in there. Ignore this, that was just me overlapping kiln fire paper. So if you've ever done that, you'll know what happens. It's a little bit thicker there, so you get this sort of mark. So never overlap kiln fire paper, except in maybe in a test like this. So that's what scraps are for. So what caused the bumps? I think what's happened is that because the glass is so smooth, there's no texture on it effectively. So there's very few ways that air can get out from between the sheets of glass. That's what I'm thinking happened. Because I don't use 96, if anybody out there knows, please put some comments in and tell us exactly what I did wrong there and what I should do right. So I'm hoping, because of the way I'm going to be doing this, I'm not going to get that again. And if I can, I might even, well, I can't really on this small project, but because of the way I'm going to do it, I'm hoping I won't get it again. So that's just something that I didn't expect, and I don't think it's got anything to do with the problem with the glass. I think it's just got a problem with the way I did it. As far as equipment is concerned, I am going to be using some diamond drills. You can see here there's a couple of different sizes. Not exactly sure which ones I'm using at the moment, but you'll see that as I work through it. So I am going to be using those. As far as grinding is concerned, I'm hoping I won't have to do any grinding of edges, but if I do, I'll probably be using my flat lap to do that. And that's about the limit of any equipment that you're really going to use other than what you normally use doing projects. So the first thing is, as usual, cut up some glass. Well, that was interesting. You probably noticed in the video, or you will notice when I put it all together, that it got a little challenging at times. Now, before I explain why, if you are not sure about what's happening here, these are diamond impregnated drills. They've got a hollow in them. And everything was done in water, and I had a piece of glass underneath so that when I drilled through, trying to minimize the amount of chipping underneath, that little piece of glass is a sacrificial piece of glass, so it's obviously going to get marked, as you can see there. It is marked up. Yeah, the idea is when you're drilling is to start out on an angle like that, drill in slowly until it grips, and then slowly straighten up to finish off the drill. Now there's the phone ringing. Excuse me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Right, so what went wrong? Well, I'm drilling away and because you got to get a really good grip on the drill. And I can't figure out why this thing is so difficult to control. So it was jumping around. You can see there where it sort of jumped around a bit, jumped around there, and even there it skidded a bit. Wasn't for a while until I finally realised what was going on. I had the thing running in reverse, didn't I? Now, that wouldn't normally matter, except that as I'm gripping hold of the drill, I hold it in a way so that I can control it against the forces of it when it's running in a clockwise direction. And when it was running in an anti-clockwise direction, obviously the way I was holding it, I couldn't control it enough. Once I realised that and get it going in the right direction, then it was a lot easier to do the holes. So that's why I had a problem. Now, about this glass. Normally when I drill glass like this, and this did seem a little harder to drill, but anyway, normally when I drill glass like this, I do expect some chipping off the back. But I'm surprised that there's so much chipping on this. It really has chipped a lot. You can see the big hunks have come out of this. A lot more than I would have expected. It sort of makes sense in a way, because I've also noticed that when I just do a normal score and snap, I get a lot more little slivers of glass and just fine slivers of glass. So I don't know whether this is tempered more or just annealed harder or whatever it is. I'm not too sure. If you know, let me know in the comments. But there's something about the way this glass is made that is causing this chipping. Or the way I'm drilling needs to be modified to suit this style of glass. Anyway, so that means that I've got to consider which way I put this on the glass now. Do I go that way, which is the way I was going to go, or do I go that way? Now I'm going to do a full fuse, so in theory it shouldn't matter. I was worried about bubbles, but I don't think I will. I still go that way, I think, and hopefully it'll be fine. Now the plan is this will go down on the clear, and I'm going to fill in these holes with Murrini. And we're going to fuse it all together, and hopefully I'll get the quantity in each of the holes right, and it all fuses down nicely, and we have these little colourful windows in that. So that's the plan. I'll go and clean this up now and start laying up all that Murrini. There we go. It's all stacked up. Hopefully I've got enough glass on there to fill each hole, and hopefully it'll all flatten out nicely. I suppose we may have a little bit of bumpiness, but if I leave it long enough it should flatten out well. Anyway, I'll get this over to the kiln and we'll get it in for a full fuse. Okay, here we go. Back the next morning, and I'm very happy. That has worked out really nice. Everything has flattened out really nice. Nice shine on there. And I'll just bring it up and show you a little bit better, as long as I don't go out of focus. You can see that look quite nice with the little bit of leaf and the other floral Murrini in there. You can see right through. So hopefully when this is in a little bowl, light will throw some interesting patterns down on the table or whatever you got it sitting on. So that's all worked out really nice. On the back, same thing. None of those horrible bubbles. And I think that's because it's allowed the air to escape out wherever I put a hole. So, I'm not going to do any cold working. I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to put that on the mould, and we'll get it into the kiln. And tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have a finished bowl or dish. Well, I hope you agree with me. I think that has worked out exceptionally well, especially given that this is my first go at using COE 96. Now, you can, of course, do this in other colours, but I basically only had black, and that's the best contrast. The streaky blue and white that I had, I don't think would have worked as well. So I'm not unhappy with that colour. You probably guessed by looking at my other videos that I tend to like black. Don't know whether it says anything about me, but anyway, I tend to like the really contrasting colours. So, but for you, different colours there, maybe a deep green or something like that, or even a brown might have been nice with those colours. But yeah, now something I noticed on the underside where the Murrini has, how could I say, it's gone in deeper into the clear. It's raised in comparison to the black. So that's a nice effect, and that's something that you could put into a project. What else can I say? But anyway, I mean, I don't know that there's a lot else I can say. For those of you who use 96, there's probably nothing new in here. But if you're using 90 at the moment and you're thinking about using 96, I hope that has helped you a little bit. I wouldn't mind using 96 again because I did find it reasonably easy to work with. The cuttings seem to be a lot easier to work with than the Bullseye. Whether that's real or not, or just my perception at the moment, don't really know. Anyway, if you've got any comments, please put them in the comment section below. If you've got anything like the firing schedule that I used, you may disagree with it, or you may have a better one, whatever. Put that in. Any other comments, love to hear from you. And that's it for now. So you'll find a couple of suggested videos up there, the subscribe button right around there somewhere. Until the next video, I'll say bye for now.